Eli, first game at New Mexico State, how'd it feel?
Awesome. It was very exciting to get back out there after not playing football in close to 2 years. I thought the game day atmosphere and presentation here was awesome. Everything from the fans to the student section to our band and cheerleaders. I thought everything was really first class, and just kind of how the game was put on. Obviously, we didn't get the result we wanted. We had a disappointing loss, but yeah, I really enjoyed being out there. Just getting to make my first appearance as an Aggie, and just looking forward to the rest of the season.
How would you, looking at the film, how would you evaluate the performance from the offensive line and then just the offense as a whole too? I'm sure you guys expected to score more.
Well, I think there's two things you can look at from the ball game Saturday that really hurt us, and that's our performance in the red zone, our performance on third down. I want to say we had 5 opportunities where we had the football inside the red zone. We came away with 3 points. You can't win football games doing that. You just can't. You get the ball, inside the 25-yard line. You need to be scoring touchdowns. I mean, we need to be thinking we get the football inside the 25 5 times. We need to score 35 points. And obviously that did not happen. The other component of that is third down. I want to say we were 3 for 15 on third down conversions. And a lot of that, I think sometimes people look at that and go, well, we need to work on our third down offense. Well, the easiest way to be a good third down offense is getting to third down situations that are manageable. So that comes down to, being able to run the football on first and second down effectively and being able to make those high percentage completion throws to get us in third downs that are manageable. Simply, we were put in situations where we're looking at 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20, and it's hard to find a good play call on 3rd and 20. It's very hard to do. And so, I think the main keys this week are just looking at, when we get the ball in striking range, we need to score. And then, we need to put ourselves in situations where our third downs are manageable, and we're looking at 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 instead of 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20.
Did you feel like you guys were, what was the missing? I know Dominic had a throw that maybe could have been, you didn't get the review the way, and then you got a big touchdown call back. But that wasn't a red zone play. But what were you happy with the play calls and the stuff like that, and just not a matter of executing down there? Is that what happened, or in the red zone?
Yeah, I think we were put into situations by the coaching staff to where we had every opportunity to be successful. I just think we didn't execute, and there were obviously a couple calls that didn't go our way, and that's just football though. That's going to happen sometimes. UTEP, I'm sure, had certain calls that they thought didn't go their way. But it doesn't matter. Whatever the official says happened. We can't sit here and argue about it or make excuses about it, because their word goes. And so, but yeah, I think we had every opportunity. We were put in situations to be successful. We just didn't execute at the right times, and I think we hurt ourselves obviously with just negative plays and penalties. You can't do that. There's a big difference between 1st and 10, 1st and 20. And so I think the more we can cut down on those, errors and mistakes, the better chance we have of being a effective offense.
With San Diego State coming up now, kind of just hearing Coach talk about them. Obviously, they've always been known to have really, really good defense. It seems like they bring some different confusing looks. I guess you being the anchor on that offensive line. Just kind of what are you looking at this week with the Aztecs?
Well, I think that's a good point. Is they're really creators of chaos. I actually just got done watching their game against Colorado from last year, and I don't think there was a single snap in the first half of that ball game where they did not do some sort of pressure or line stunt or twist up front. So, they're extremely multiple up front, in their whole defense for what they're going to do. They're going to line up and over, they're going to line up and under, they're going to line up in odd, bear. We're going to be looking at 3 or 4 different fronts, and then, they're always constantly going to be moving after the snap, whether or not that's bringing an interior pressure or bringing a pressure off the edge, or just, moving their line, line them up and over before the snap and then slanting them to under or under to over, or, vice versa. So, yeah, they're extremely multiple with what they do defensively, and they try to create chaos. And so I think the main thing for us looking at that going forward is just, number one, knowing your rules and keeping your eyes up. Just not letting kind of pomp and circumstance of, their alignments and, what they're going to be doing before the snap and after the snap, confuse us and just trying to stick with our rules. And if we do that and play with our eyes, I think we have a chance to be successful.
Give me a key to offensively. You talked about the defensive alignments that they change. Is that something where, does that start, up front with the offensive line? Does that get down to, Jonah maybe making more plays with his feet? Does it get down to wide receivers getting more open? How do you guys, what do you look at offensively as an X factor?
Well, I think in regards to when you're looking at a team like that and they're going to bring a bunch of pressure and they're going to try to be really multiple up front in what they do, I think there are certain things we can do to, help aid in that. One is quick game. If we can get the ball out of his hand quickly, maybe that'll force them to play more base look, and because they're not going to sit there and want to send 6, 7, 8 bodies into pressure every time if we're catching a snap and throwing the ball. So I think there's some things from a schematic standpoint we can do to try to negate that or make it not as attractive for them to play that style of defense against us. But yeah, I mean, it's everybody. Everybody has to be just more alert, because you'll play some teams and kind of you can sit there before you snap the football and get a mental picture of what they're going to be in and go, okay, well, I've got this alignment, so I need to do this. Well, it's going to be very hard to do that against them because their players are going to be moving after the snap of the ball, and so it just makes one, I think the biggest thing is keeping your eyes up and seeing what's happening and being able to react to what they're doing. I think that's the biggest thing. And the other thing is just knowing your rules, so whenever we're in, our pass protection, whether it's 5-man pro or 6-man pro or whatever it is, knowing like, okay, like this is my assignment. I need to follow the rules of this assignment. If we do that, we can pick up whatever they bring at us. You just can't let all the smoke and mirrors confuse you.
It seemed like when you took to get pressure, it seemed like it was off the edge. I don't know if you watched the game again probably, so I don't know if you'd agree with that or not. But like, how would you evaluate your teammates' performance on the offensive line, especially the 2 tackles?
I think as a unit we played solid. I think as a unit we played solid. Obviously we lost the game, so we didn't play well enough to win, and so obviously we didn't play good enough as a unit. But I think we did a lot of good things, and I think there's a lot of things we can build on. And I think that there's just a lot of areas that little things we can improve on to make us better going forward. But that's going to be any game. There's going to every single guy did really good things at times, and every single guy made mistakes at times, and myself's included in that. And so I really just think we all have things that we did well, and we all have things that we need to work on.
You have to remind yourselves that it's only one game and there's a whole lot of season left.
Oh, absolutely. And I think our team understands that. I mean, you look at, this is a 12, 13 game season, and we're just one game into that. So, obviously I think that it hurt us a little bit that we didn't play last year. We didn't play in 2020, and so just getting this first game, first real game under our belt, I think it's going to help us moving forward. And but that's not an excuse for losing the game. But yeah, I think it's good to keep in perspective. All of our goals are still in front of us. I mean, we can still go to a bowl game. We can still win a bowl game. And so our mindset is, our goals haven't changed. Now, is it more difficult because we dropped that game? Yes, it is. Can we get it done? Absolutely.
Do we have anything else from the in-person media before we open it up to the Zoom?
I'm going to steal Nate's question that he asked Doug. Obviously, last season and not playing last season, hurt this program, but the fact that you guys have a game in week 0 now leading in and San Diego State didn't, is that at all advantageous?
It's both advantageous and a disadvantage at the same time. So I think the biggest thing that's going to help us is, one, from an operations standpoint, we've played a ball game. Everybody kind of knows what the pregame routine looks like, so that's an advantage. The other thing is the conditioning element of it. There's no really better conditioning for playing a football game than playing a football game. The more task specific, the better. And so I think it does give us an edge maybe from a conditioning standpoint that we have played a game, in fairly warm weather. So those two things are advantages for us. I think it is a disadvantage, the fact that they've got a game of film on us where they can look at our schemes with our personnels. We can look at their schematics from last year, but they might have personnel changes, they might have different people in there, or somebody might have moved a position. And so I think that could be a disadvantage for us as they see like, okay, well, this is their personnel running their scheme, and we've got a live look at what it looks like, where we don't have that. But like I said, though, at the same time, we've played a game, so we should be in a little bit better shape.
Going on the road, first road game of the season for you, but California, you ever been to California?
I have not. It's my first time going to California. I'm extremely excited about it.
The weather, or the vibes out there, what about it?
Just everything, I mean, I feel like California is one of those states that, everybody talks about going to. I can't believe it's going to take me 23 years to get there, but finally getting a chance to go. So I'm excited just to, get to see the beaches. We're going to be in Los Angeles, so it's playing San Diego State, but they're having played in LA because of the stadium thing. And so yeah, just extremely excited to get a chance to see the weather and the beaches and, obviously a much different culture than what I'm used to coming from Mississippi. So yeah, extremely excited to get a chance to visit Los Angeles.
Eli going to Hollywood.
Kirk or Ken, do we have any football questions for Eli?
Thank you.
Good.
You played, I think you've been on the field before, but, maybe not in as big a role as you played Saturday night. But there's a lot of players like that. What was it like being on the field for such a new group of guys?
It was an entirely new defense. I think we had one guy returning who's really been lettered with us, and that was Burhard.
Yeah.
Other than that, everybody's been new, fresh. All I had under my belt before this game was Dixie State. That's the first game I had started, and then Tarleton game. The 2 games we played in the spring. It got me ready for it. Wasn't nervous, wasn't scared, nothing like that. But a lot of guys, it was the first feeling. We had a lot of fans out there. It was a new game. We started slow. Second half played a little better. It was new. It was a new game. It was a new game.
You're in the front 7 or whatever, but looking at the film, what happened on the 2 big pass plays? I guess was it?
I would say safeties just came down too hard. They came down. We know we came into the game. UTEP's a powerhouse. They're a good run team. They're solid up front, big linemen. They move the ball well on the ground. We were expecting the RPOs, but we didn't react and play fast enough to defend them.
Yeah.
Did you feel like, Josh, that the defense played well in stretches, especially in that second quarter where you showed what you could do?
Of course, I think our biggest thing going for next week, going against San Diego State, the biggest thing we're gonna have to do is just play fast. Play fast immediately. Play fast at the beginning and start of the game. We showed a lot of good things on Saturday. We showed a lot of good things. We had stops, 3 and outs, forcing. We won the third down battle. We played a good game. We just have to do it consistently, play after play after play. There was a lot of times, like I said, we started slow. That there was 2 or 3 big balls over 25 yards. We eliminate those, it's a whole different ball game. That's 20 points off the board. Instead of it being us down 20-3 at halftime, it's maybe 10-3. We just gotta eliminate the big plays, and that's about it.
How can the defense work together with the offense? How do you guys balance each other out? Is it something where you guys alleviate the offense does the same for you? How's sort of the balance between the two?
Well, we gotta have confidence in both sides of the ball, have confidence in the team. As a defense, I can only speak on the defensive side. We know what goes on over there, but it's not really my place to speak on it. So as a defense, we just have to play fast. We have to be confident. We have to get in extra film study, be able to talk to each other, talk it out on the field. It was really loud. It was our first game, 28,000 people or so. It was really loud. Communication at times was shattered only because we couldn't hear. We couldn't do the same thing we did during practice without fans. So we just have to communicate better, and we just have to be confident in what each other does and do our jobs.
You mentioned kind of getting ready for UTEP's, running game. It feels like San Diego State, that's what they want to start with at least.
And me being in the box, being in the front 7, like you said, I hope they want to run the ball.
Okay.
I hope they do.
What do you think of their offensive line and their running backs so far?
They have big offensive linemen. It's an FBS football team. They've got a lot of great players. The running backs I will say the running backs are a little smaller than what we saw this past weekend, so that'll be good, but they're a lot shiftier, so we have to play faster and move around and make the tackle when we get it.
Is that where it starts for you guys though? Because like you said, you did some good things on third down, but if they're able to run the football,
Yeah. The biggest thing is going to be just starting fast. I'm confident in our box. I'm confident in our secondary. I'm confident in our defense as a whole. We just got to play fast, play our game, and be physical and aggressive.
winning the turnover battle, was that one of the biggest positives you took away from last weekend?
It was, yeah. So it was one thing we go into practice every day. If offense loses one, we got to get 2 to back them up. If they don't have any turnovers, we got to get +1 regardless. Being +1 off defense is the biggest thing for us. Getting the ball back and trying to get the ball to our offense so they can make plays happen, that's our biggest deal.
Do we have anything else for Josh? Anything on Zoom for Josh?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, you guys didn't know going into UTEP really what you're going to get with them because they have new coordinators and everything. Did anything that they did surprise you guys?
They showed a lot of new formations that I personally have not seen in my football playing career. Their offensive coordinator got really creative with where he lined up guys and put them in positions, and it surprised us, yes, but we tried to react. We reacted as best as we could. We adjusted on the fly as we could and just played football.